89.9 FM, the East Bay's best variety. I got my dude Bishop Lamont on the line. What's up, man?
Hey, you turned up real fast.
What's up, man? Introduce yourself for everybody. Want to know who's on the phone? Let them know what's up.
You know, this is my monkey self, Bishop Lamont. You know what I'm saying? One with the coast line. You know what I'm saying? Moving the movement. You know what I'm saying? For all monkey look at individuals like me that, you know, bench press 500, do big bangs all over the universe.
Yes. So where are you from, man?
I'm from Carson, California, man. I grew up everywhere, you know what I'm saying? From Inglewood, Compton, you know what I'm saying? South Central, and, you know, took my thing up in Carson ultimately. So, you know, we rep that whole thing, you know, not just down here, but up there in that bay, and, you know, all up and down California. That's where all the real cats is at. That's what we about.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So let's go into your music and stuff like that, man. So, what projects can we look for from Bishop Lamont?
I mean, it's a lot of projects. I mean, starting back from the very beginning of my career, there was a mixtape called Who I Gotta Kill to Get a Record Deal, and I still think artists feel that same way, so we're going to be doing some new installments of that, but it's called Who I Gotta Kill to Get a Record Deal, and then from there, there was a mixtape called Noise, Near Noise. You can check that out, which is really, you know, it's about racism and just a lot of stereotypes and stuff like that. It's so many projects though, but from that, you got Caltroit, which is a collaboration between myself and Black Milk, some of the nicest MCs from Detroit, the West Coast as well, of course, what's called Caltroit, the Pope Mobile, the Confessional, Team America F Yeah, the rap version of the movie Team America, which is really insane, Shawshank Redemption. I mean, it's so much free music. At my time when I was at Aftermath, you know, I wasn't allowed to do anything. I was pretty much like a prisoner, so I put out a lot of free music just to give people enjoyment, and so, you know, they can check out all that stuff. All the cats that are not familiar with me, I did a lot of ghostwriting for Dre and other artists, and, you know, really held it down over there, especially for the West Coast, and just true hip-hop. But it's a lot of dope projects. The newest joint out is the first single from the Reformation, called Sodom and Gomorrah. You can check the video out to that as well. Next single is The Code, produced by Khalil, with the homeboy Kobe on that. It's just a lot of dope music. There's another mixtape dropping probably around September before the album drops called The Layover. It's just a lot of dope music, man. It's a lot of collaborations with, you know, a lot of underground artists from all over, you know, Cali, just the country, I mean, all over the world, man. I do music with just people who love music and got something to say. I was long-winded, but yeah.
Yeah. So can we talk about, like, I guess the top 3 artists that you work with that to you was the top artist? Who would they be?
What, to work with right now?
Yeah, off top, ever, whoever you worked with. Give me the top 3 people. Like, I got to work with these top 3 to you that were like a top.
I don't want to offend nobody, but I'll pass because I'll leave somebody out. Somebody else gonna be mad. But I'll say that I had an amazing time working with Exhibit. I had an amazing time working with Warren G. I had an amazing time working with DJ Quick, with Battle Cat, with Dre, of course, for a lot of stuff we created. Mark Batson. It's just so many cats, man. Me and Black Milk, Royce the 5'9", Elzai. It's so many cats, Raz Cass. I mean, it just goes on and on, so I don't want to offend anybody because I'll forget. I'll be blessed to be able to work with a lot of phenomenal people, the greatest producers, writers, and even, you know, what's coming up for the album. I'll keep it surprised, but I've just been really blessed to work with some incredible people. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If you could work with the 3 artists that you haven't worked with yet, it doesn't even have to be hip-hop or R&B, worldwide, and you haven't worked with them, who would it be?
Well, if I say it, it's what's coming on the album, so I'm gonna be quiet. But
Okay.
I'm gonna say, I wish I would have had the chance to work with Pac. I've always been blessed to be around, you know, his brother Mo Preem. Shout out to Mo Preem Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Thug Life, still living. We did something crazy for the album, but I would have loved to work with Pac. I'd have loved to work with Biggie. I would have loved to work with Big Pun, Big L. And that's just hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to work with Bob Marley. I think that would have been the greatest thing. I don't know how many artists out there even ponder that, but to have worked with Bob Marley, I mean, that's as pure as it gets. You know, I mean, people who really made a difference in the world, and we listen to that music to this very day, and it still is relevant and changes lives and affects lives. It's cats like him, like Marvin Gaye. You know what I mean? Like dope stuff like that, where it's like, wow. You You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who doesn't wish they could have worked with Michael Jackson? You know what I mean?
Yeah. For real. Your most Go ahead.
No, I said the only cat that ever got to do that, as ill as he is, and rest in peace, was Heavy D. He got to work with MJ and Janet Jackson. Who does that? So rest in peace to Heavy. I wish I could have got to work with Heavy too. I got to meet him one time, but we never got to work. Guru from Gangstar, rest in peace. We got to hang, and we never got to work. But I mean, things like that is who I think about.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what's up, man. What's your most memorable moment in your career so far?
Man, I think rocking the Rocksteady Crew anniversary show in Jersey, and it was like over 10,000, 15,000 people, and me being from the West Coast, from Cali, and East Coast cats knowing every word and embracing me like that and embracing us like that as a whole, because there's always this perception that there's a hate towards us. You know what I'm saying? It's not real. Gonna recognize real, and the world is waiting. And we watch each other, we hear each other, and we need to embrace each other, because our plights and the things we face are pretty much the same where they are. So I think that's one of the most memorable moments. And then me working with the youth center that we got over in East LA at this place called Broad Heights Youth Center, and we're doing this whole album for the kids. It's a music program that we developed, me and my buddy Michael, where kids from the inner cities, keeping them away from the drugs, from the gangs, from the violence, can come and learn to do anything they want to do music-wise. Learn to engineer, learn to sing, learn to rhyme, learn to produce, play instruments. And, we've been really successful with it. And they project's coming out next month called The Congregation. All the proceeds go back into it for more music equipment. I want to make that a prerequisite at youth centers all across the country. That's what I'm most proud of. I got 2 awards from there, because this music stuff is cool, but that's not real life. What's real life is what you're doing with it when you touch your lives, and we're gonna move from there to the juvenile system and the prison system, and being there on the chaplain tip and working with brothers. It's all kind of stuff. I'm real about this, man. You know what I mean? I'm not into this rap stuff.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So I guess, what is the future for Bishop Lamont? What do you got planned up for the future, man?
Well, the Reformation is dropping real soon. The label Diocese. I got a lot of amazing artists. Just cultivating new artists and really trying to open minds and motivate people, not to just want to be artists. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with rapping or singing and all that stuff, but we need a lot more business-minded individuals. We need a lot more entrepreneurs. We need a lot more people on the law side, on the political side, because, especially because it's college radio, I know, the brothers and sisters is already up on what we're looking at politically this year and what we're facing. See, these rappers are always talking about guns, drugs, and all this, and it's like, most of y'all can't even do, 9 times 12. You can't spell. You don't know what's going around in your own communities. You're talking about foreign cards. You're talking about this, and that.
Yeah.
But you don't even know what's going on in your own economy and how close we are to bottoming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They talk about gangbang and they talk about gangster stuff, but the real gangsters is the real gangsters is the Tea Party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't realize that. So it's important that people realize, when people occupying Wall Street, what did it do? Who did we get in office for that? Nothing happened. But the Tea Party got like 60-something people in Congress, and we're not even paying attention. We're talking about Nino Brown and we're talking about all this gangster stuff, but most of these cats ain't never heard of the Koch brothers. Talk about Coke, talk about the Koch brothers, the real Koch brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that we are more active in educating our people. When I say people, I just don't mean black. I mean our people. I mean that bottom percentile, that middle class that's now becoming the poor class. You know what I'm saying? And it's only the rich class. And we've got to start empowering people to understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being educated. There's nothing wrong with being smart. Ain't nothing weak about having a 9 to 5. Ain't nothing weak about raising your kids, taking care of your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The hardest thing to me is being able to maintain a 4.0, 5.0 GPA. You know what I'm saying? To graduate. You know what I'm saying? That's real. And so it takes real men and real women to say things like that. So that's where it is for me. I've never been a fake cat with this, and that's why it's taking the time for me to blow up and to build my thing, because I ain't one of these suckers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I noticed like some of the songs and videos have a really deep concept to it. What influences you to write this music, and what influences you? Period. Well, I mean, I come from that old school thing. I come from that old world. You know what I'm saying? In my household, I grew up listening to the OJs. You know what I'm saying? I grew up listening to Aretha Franklin. You know what I'm saying? let's see, Stevie Wonder, Curtis Mayfield. So I always heard music that was stone cold, but it had a real message. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have no choice but to reflect that from my upbringing. You know, I listen to gospel real heavy. That's also in my household.
Yeah.
And a part of my family. You know, my aunties be a minister, so the spirit is in me. So I got to be able to manifest that as well. As potty mouth as a kid. But if you're gonna make music, you got to make a difference. All these cats making all this music that has nothing to do with what real people are going through every day in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Look at their videos. They got green screen. They standing on rental cars. They doing all this stuff that they really can't afford.
Yeah.
And for that fact, most of the people that's watching the videos can't afford. You got all these people trying to keep up with the Joneses when you ain't even keeping up with the Joneses, really. So it has to be something that's going to be able to heal and to give solutions instead of adding to the problems. You know, the reason Pac was so powerful is because he gave you the same things that you was going through. He showed you wasn't alone. He gave you things to get your frustration out on. He gave you hope. Most of this music now don't give you no hope. They tell you to stay in the club. They tell you to get drunk. They tell you to stay peeled up. It's like, wow, we're raising a nation of drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that don't do nothing. I know so many homies that fight drug addiction and will go a long time without it, then lapse, and you watch lives be destroyed off this stuff. I got so many folks in the feds. I got so many people in the ground off this gangbang stuff, off this drug life. So it's like, come on, man. Really be real about this. You're saying all this, but you'll never touch the prisons and put bread on homies' books. You don't take care of dudes' families. You know what I'm saying? When they gone in the ground or behind them bars, y'all just steal their lifestyle. You steal their stories, and you put your fake songs out.
Yeah.
That ain't what this is about. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me, though, because I'm really from the ground with this. So that's my perspective on the thing. You know, if it ain't real, I can't deal with it.